Welcome back, everybody. You should just say, as always, your boy Lunasty here, and joining me, my special guest here, who I am completely excited to be here, Smiley Kylie Rae. Kylie, how's it going?
Oh, it's going so well. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, and I'm loving it already. Very
Awesome.
nervous, but in a good way.
Great, great. So we'll get right into it. So I want to know, and a lot of us, whenever we do these interviews, we want to know like what made you love professional wrestling. So take us to the very beginning. What made you love professional wrestling?
Oh, what made me love professional wrestling? I mean, what don't I love about professional
Yeah.
wrestling, to be honest? I love it since I was like a child, but like I I didn't even realize like what it really was, if that makes sense. I just knew I was so like emotionally attached. And
Mhm.
like the first memory that I have of being like emotionally attached to wrestling, because like we would watch it like with our siblings, like growing up and whatnot, and that was just like what we did, on what Mondays, and when SmackDown was on Thursdays, we would do like Thursday nights, and
Yeah.
then like, but I remember the first time my heart was like, I love this stuff was when like the SummerSlam match of 2002 with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And like when
Mhm.
Triple H hit Shawn Michaels in the back with the sledgehammer, and like I
Yeah.
remember genuinely like being concerned for like Shawn Michaels and his family. Like that was like real to me. Like that was like I was like, I can't believe it. They were best friends. And like so I think it was like obviously I love the wrestling aspect of it, but like the
Mhm.
entertainment side of it, whereas like the storylines and like it gets you like just captivated with everything, and like I'm genuinely like watching these people as if like they're like this stuff is like really happening to them. Like he really got hit with that sledgehammer, and like he
Yeah.
had like the well documented back issues and yada yada. So it was just like I love being able to get lost in it, and it was like an escape from like reality, if that makes any sense. So I don't know. I
Oh,
guess
it
it's just
does. Like I said, and I was about to bring that up about the how they kept talking about the back issues. So like you felt like, oh no, because like when he hits it, you're like, I can't believe they're letting him hit him there. Like he just came back from surgery. Why? It's so awesome. But like I guess the same thing for me. We just had TJP on not so long ago, and he was saying that he was raised pretty much knowing wrestling. And it's the same for me. Like I remember I was probably like maybe 6 or 7, and it was Stone Cold versus Bret Hart. And it was like probably like a Raw or something was going on, and Bret Hart was just getting pounded. So like I remember just laying on the ground, and my brother's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm giving all my energy to Bret Hart so he can come back." And he's like, "That's not how that works." But like, yeah, it's so great. Like, I wanted him to take my energy. Like, take it, Bret. I don't need this. You
right.
need to win. That's
And you can
awesome.
feel that stuff. But it was like, I don't know, I feel like wrestling was really like the only place I belonged to, because like I always felt like a weirdo and like an outsider, and like I didn't know where I really like fit in. But then like we would go to like wrestling events, and it was just a place where everyone could just like let loose, and we're like all like the weirdos of the world just coming together. And I
Yeah,
mean that's like the most endearing way, because like I like being weird. I mean weird in like a good way. But like
yeah.
it's our place to like all come together and like have this mutual like understanding that like, hey, we love this stuff, and it's like okay to like be that weirdo in this environment. So like I don't know, that's one of the things. It's like that community feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, completely agree. Like I said, I don't want to keep bringing up like old interviews, but it's just bringing me to like points that I made previously with other people. It's like, I told you before we started, and we told TJP that I'm in the Navy, so I've been moved a bunch of different places. So like whenever you're the new kid and everyone wants to know about you, like where you're from and all that, one of the things that I've been put on the spot maybe 2 or 3 times with all my duty stations, and one of the things are like, "What's a random fun fact about you?" I was like, "Oh, well, actually, I was a independent wrestler for a little bit." Like, "Oh," and then so one person be like, "Oh, you like wrestling?" It's like, "Oh, I love it," And then it's like, "Oh, I haven't watched in a couple years." Like, "Oh, well, I'm having a WrestleMania party at my house." They're like, "You guys down?" Then I become cool with other people. Then they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen this since I was a kid," or "I've never gotten into this." So I'm the guy, command to command, that gets people back watching it or gets people into wrestling. So like, I'm
Oh,
that nerd
no,
as
I love
well
it.
with people. So like
Amazing.
with that, you loving it like your whole life, when did you know that this was going to be your career?
Oh my gosh. I don't I don't know if I ever knew that. Like I don't know if I ever even thought that. I guess I didn't think it was really possible, especially for me, because I'm just like, oh, little old me, like what? I was just kind of like, I always assumed that I had to have like a job in order to like support the wrestling side of it, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. But I was like, I think I'll always be okay in life because I'll always have wrestling to love. So like I wanted to start training fresh out of high school, but my mom was like, absolutely not. You're going to college and getting your degree. And I was like, okay. And I look back, I'm like very grateful that she made me do this.
Yeah.
But after like my third year of college, I kind of like, it took a lot of convincing because, it's a tough business. I mean, it's hard on your body and there's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But having that like a long-term career in wrestling is like very few and far between. So it was like I'm very grateful I still had the pleasure of going to college and the opportunity of going to college and getting my degree. But like having that schooling and also training at the same time, I didn't start until like my third year of college. I started training, but like that was so challenging because going to school alone is like very hard to do and very time consuming, but adding
Yeah.
full-time training on top of it was like it was just another ball game in itself. So I I didn't really realize that I was like setting up my career, if that makes sense. Like I just wanted to wrestle, but then like
Yeah.
everything starts to happen so fast that it's like, oh crap, like I haven't had like a job in a very long time. And then it's just like, oh, I've only been doing wrestling. So like these past like back in October, I stopped wrestling for a little bit,
Mhm.
and obviously still not because I haven't had a match yet. But supposed to be in June. But I've been working
What?
like yeah, right. It's
What?
gonna be fun. Just taking things day by day. So like I've been working like full time in like a quote unquote real world job. And it's just been like a complete like change of pace because all I knew was like wrestling. So
Yeah.
I never thought that it could be my career. And even when I was doing it, like I didn't realize like, oh, this is my career. But I just always looked at it as like, this is what I love to do. And this is all I like know how to do. So I guess the answer to the question is I never thought that. It just kind of like happened because of how much like love and passion and time and effort I put into it. It just, I don't, I don't know, something along the way, I guess the universe or whether it be, I'm sorry, I believe in God, but it
Right.
has it has a funny way of like working itself out. Like whatever's meant to be, I truly believe will happen. And who knows, maybe it'll be like a full-time career again, but we're just taking it day by day for
Yeah. Yeah,
now.
most definitely. And that's awesome. That's all. I did the complete opposite. Like I said, I started training in high school, so like my young adult life leading into enlisting. It was so funny because like meeting, I guess, normal people. I was doing the light shakes. I was like, "Hi, I'm John. How's it going?" They're like, "What is this?" Yeah, how's it going, brother? What
I
is
know.
this?
And now we don't even do that anymore, right? It's like, do you do a nux? Do you do like an elbow?
Yeah.
Like I've
Well,
seen the
like
first tap, and it's like, wait, what do we do now?
so I did a couple of shows after enlisting, but that's been like I said about almost a decade ago. So I haven't wrestled in forever. Still here and there, like I said, when I'm not like deployed or anything, we'll try to follow up. But it's the guys that trained me and some of the guys that I went on the road with still wrestle, and it's just so weird, like hearing how it is now. How like they say people don't thank people for matches anymore, stayed for the shows. And back in my day, we had our theme, the theme songs on CDs, the burnt CDs with your name and the track number. And they're like, no, we just do it on our phones now. It's like, man,
Yeah, right.
it's
Just pull up
nuts.
YouTube and like, wait.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started training?
I was 15 years old.
Oh my
Yeah. Yeah.
gosh.
So I was 15. And like I said, I stopped about 20 years old. So it was about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a fun time. It was a fun
No,
time. I
it
was
really is though. Like you don't even realize like how fun it is, and then you're doing it. It's like, oh my gosh, like you're literally. I'm sure you can relate to this. It's like living your dream. It's like
yeah.
it's
But
amazing.
but like I was, because of my size, I mean at the time, I can't tell now, but like only 5'5" at the time. I think I was like 130, 140, and they were throwing me around like, hey, I want to try this new move, get in the ring, coming up and doing all this stuff. And I'm just like, that's how I learned to sell, actually. It's like having to take all these moves, and I just
Right.
love
It's like
it. And
I
I
was
would, being with these monsters, I'm just like, I'm just gonna oversell. Like I'm gonna be over here for like 30 seconds. Y'all could try something on someone else. It was great.
That's
But
amazing. Yeah, they always pick up the people, whoever, like in the class, because I'm 5'5" as well. So
yeah,
usually like the smaller people in the class, they're always like, hey, can we try this new move on you? It's like, okay. That was like the ongoing joke. I was like, I don't think I ever actually learned how to wrestle. I was just like taking all these moves, and it just like actually hurt. So I was just
yeah. So I don't know if he was there whenever you trained at Booker T's school. There was a guy I knew. His name was Biohazard Jacobs Pliskin, and like I said, he trained at Booker T's school. But there was a show that I did in San Antonio, and like I said, I wasn't even booked to be on the
Mhm.
show. I just went with the guys that I was on the road with who were booked there, and I went in the ring and I was working out and stuff. He's like, let me try this move on you. I was like, oh, cool. What I do? He's like, just go on the middle rope, like you're gonna take a 619 or something. He's like, and I'll do the rest. And I was like, okay. So I just chill right here. He's like, yeah, 1 second. And then the next thing I know, this guy's like, almost 300 pounds of pure muscle, and he's very agile. But like, I just remember like feeling his whole body weight like on my back, and I didn't like know what was going on, so I didn't know what to do. But I just know that my body gave out, so I like did this. Then had this huge rope burn, and I guess like he tried to like jump in the air, do like a spinning like elbow or something. But everyone was just, I just remember everyone laughing, and I have a huge like rope burn on my chest. Like, what were you thinking? It was, I don't know, but
Right.
it was
That's always
great.
their first time trying it, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah. It's like you want to try on the little guy to see if you can maybe do it on the bigger guys, right? It's great.
Amazing.
Um, so I know you worked at Pro Wrestling Tees, and
Yeah.
so for us, marks and huge wrestling fans, that is a dream job, I feel. How did you land that?
Oh my gosh. Yes, an absolute another dream job. Anything like wrestling related is always considered like a dream job.
Yeah.
I had just graduated from my bachelor's degree, and I was working, like I was serving tables, and it was fine. Like I enjoyed it, but I had a friend, I was still training at the time for, like, I hadn't had a match yet, but I was still training. And I have a friend who actually runs freelance wrestling, which is where we train now. He's a freaking saint, and he's been there for me since like the very beginning. He has worked at Pro Wrestling Tees for like years now. And he was like, hey, like they're hiring, like I know you like just got your degree and whatnot, like would you be open to this? And I was like, oh my gosh, like absolutely, like this is amazing. So
Yeah.
like he's somebody who is just like, yeah, he's had my back from the very beginning. Like he set me up with Ryan, who everyone knows is the owner, and I had an interview, and then I got to do like customer service type job and like shipping and handling. And it was just, and like the store has grown so much in such a little time. Like they're in a new building compared to the one that like when I was working there, like I mean, it's just on the block, but like they've like doubled, tripled, even quadrupled in size. And he's like even buying more buildings like next to the building that he's already at. So it's just like amazing to see how much it's grown in such a short period of time. And like you can tell like how much he puts into that
Yeah.
place. And it was amazing. I loved every bit of it. And then that's when I moved down to Houston to further my training. But like my last day of work there, they knew that like my absolute dream in life was to have streamers thrown at me, because like I would always watch like the ROH shows, and they would
Yeah.
have like, everyone would come out and it was just streamers. So like that was a huge goal of mine, and I never had a match yet. So they were like, they took it upon themselves to like, there was like a back room, and they're like, oh, okay, they're like, come in the back room in like 15 minutes. I'm like, okay. They're like, we'll put this Macho Man cape on, because they sold like Macho Man merchandise. So I had like the glasses and like the cape, and they're like, okay, do his entrance. I'm like, okay, so they put on Macho Man's theme song, and I like watched the band. I didn't know what was going on, like what they were planning, but like
Yeah.
I thought they were just having me like act like a fool because it's me. But I walk in the back with like my Macho Man sunglasses and like the big, like the cape and whatnot, and then all of a sudden they just start throwing a bunch of streamers at me. No, I just like broke down in tears. Like, it was like like it just goes to show like the type of people that work there, and it's just like
Yeah.
everyone there. It's like another family, and like everyone there has been there for so long, and it's just they all work together, and it was just such a great environment there, and I can't like the time that I had there was amazing. And we like still got to train there. Like the ring for our school was like set up in their like back warehouse, and it was just oh, it was amazing.
That's great. And only wrestling fans would know what streamers mean to
I
wrestlers.
know,
Like that's
right?
awesome. Right. That's the perfect place to have that happen. That's great.
So good. Like just crying tears of joy because I cry when I'm happy, and I don't know. It just goes to show that like the good people like that work there, and they're genuine, and I love them, and they're
Man.
so great. And it's like if you ever have a chance to come to Chicago, please go visit the store because they're amazing.
Almost definitely. That's definitely a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
But that's also like I said, dream job, dream finish, I guess.
Yes.
uh,
Right.
with the company, what a send off. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And so I read that you did some stunt work.
Yes.
So another thing, what went into that? Was there any training involved, and how did you land doing stunt work?
Yeah, so it was actually I started stunt work before I even started wrestling. So grateful. My dad works on like movie sets and whatnot. And Chicago is like kind of a big city for like film and TV. So it was just kind of like one of those things where like the stars aligned, and he knew somebody in special effects for a movie that was coming along. And there were like workshops. So like how wrestling training is kind of like weekly. The stunt workshops that they would do, it would be like once a month at like gymnastics facilities, and like it would be groups of like 40 people, and there were so many people. Like there's a lot of people. Like you think there's a lot of people who want to wrestle. There's also a lot of people who like want to do stunt work. So it's like very
Yeah.
hard to get into. Like I didn't realize like how tough and challenging it was, and also how hard just to get your foot in the door is like it's a lot. So it was just awesome, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity and privilege to do that because like we would do the workshops, but I was still training for wrestling. So the fight scenes is something that I truly enjoyed because they reminded me a lot of wrestling, but we weren't like actually hitting people. So that was something that I had to like
Yeah.
wrestling, like still hit people, but like in stunt work, you don't actually hit them. So it was cool to see like the correlations and like the similarities, but also the differences between the two. But it's not just fight scenes that go with stunt work. Like it's shooting, and then like parkour is like another thing that people like really excel at. But my first stunt job was for the movie Divergent, and they just needed somebody because somebody like the previous woman, she got injured off of like a train. They were doing like a jump off of the train, and she got injured. So like I was like next in line. So it was like it's literally just the stars just aligned, and like so blessed to have been able to do that because like if so very unfortunate that that woman got injured, obviously, but if she wouldn't have gotten injured, then like, I don't know, I truly believe everything happens for a reason. So I got to do that, and then that led to like stunt work on the TV show Shameless, and then like one thing led to another, and then I was able to get my my SAG card, which is like Screen Actors Guild. So now I could like do stunt work other places, and it's just like, I don't know, it's amazing. Like I like forget how awesome it actually is. And then like saying it, I'm like, wow, yeah, that's actually pretty like awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, that is. Definitely unfortunate, but did she die though? You know what I mean? Like she's fine. She's totally fine.
No, I'm sure she's okay now. But then
Yeah.
I see other people who are doing stunt work, and the stuff that they do is like so insane. Like I wish you could see, like, I mean, obviously you watch movies, but like
Yeah.
they're just like some of the stuff that goes on is just they're so talented. It's just a league of their own. Like some of the most athletic people I've ever seen are stunt people, and it's
Well, with
yeah,
me not knowing anything, I would assume that there is a correlation between like stunt and wrestling because like you turn your body up all the time.
right.
Like same thing with wrestling. There's no off season. Like you're consistently doing it. So even if you're doing the same moves over and over, like jumping off of trains, like rolling, landing, like that's
Right.
impactful. And yeah, so
There are
that's
actually a
crazy.
lot of like wrestlers who were at the stunt workshop. So I was like, wow, this really does kind of go hand in hand. So it's like, I don't know, it was pretty cool to see and like to make connections that way as well, just to see like I hear there's a lot of wrestlers who they would excel like because you essentially like you do bumps and rolls and all that the same stuff, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of other stuff that goes into stunt work as well. Just like there's a lot of other stuff that goes into wrestling as well. So
Exactly. Yeah.
that's
I
awesome.
mean, we had other questions stuff lined up, but before we move on, I just want to put out there that like you are like the perfect example of like a God-fearing human that's like is so nice and just looks bright all the time and just things just happen. That's just awesome. Like hearing like this story of you just being in the right place, right time, just good stuff. That's awesome. So next, I guess now we'll move on. Um,
Because I believe that like when you're grateful in life, then more things come to you. Like when you're happy with what you have, then the universe like brings you more because you're going to be happy with that as well. Like if you're
yeah,
not happy with what you have, then you're not going to be happy when you get more. If that makes sense. I don't know. Sorry.
exactly. And yeah, this is awesome. Uh,
It's my TED talk. I just
yeah,
but
I get it.
like it's hard. It's been like a battle. Like obviously, like I go through things too, just like we all have stuff that we go through.
Yeah,
And but like having like even us just talking, it's like a breath of fresh air, and it like um it feels good in the world, if that makes sense. Because it's so easy
yeah,
to be like upset and like mad about like little things, but this stuff like this is like what brings me back to earth and like it's like, hey, like the universe is good. There are good people out there, and like it's just enjoy what you have. I don't know. Sorry.
exactly. Yeah, and thank you. No, you're great. Well, we're talking about this before about our weirdness and the
Yes.
greatness behind all that. Getting into the next stuff, what was your weirdest or just outlandish, funniest fan encounter that you've gotten so far?
Oh my gosh, the weirdest or funniest fan encounter. Um, oh, I had this. Okay, there's probably been other times, but the only reason why this sticks out to me right now is because it just happened. I just did my first signing for like over in New York this past weekend. It was my first time in public in like months.
Mhm.
And it's probably not the weirdest or the funniest, but it just comes to mind because it's fresh in my mind. But
Okay.
I was bending because I'm awkward as it is. Like other times where I literally like drooled on a fan or like I've tripped and fallen like on the table, and it's just yeah, I'm a mess. But this time it wasn't me because I was bending over to go. A fan came up and I was bending over to go sign their 8x10, and the guy slapped me right in the face. It was obviously an accident, but it was literally something that like just made me laugh because I was. I would have done that. Like if it was the other way around, like I would be that guy. Like I would be the one to accidentally
Yeah.
slap the person in the face, and he kept apologizing. He's like, "I'm so sorry." Like I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm so happy that this. I'm not happy I hit the face, but I'm happy that this awkward encounter happened because, like, I don't know. I feel like that's what like I love laughing and
Yeah.
I love happy moments and just funny moments. So stuff like that is stuff like I truly enjoy. But like people like at meet and greets, it's just it fills my heart with so much joy because like they're so nice and so sweet. And like I can't tell you how many times like people have come up. Like I've been like I cry a lot when I'm happy, right? And like there are people who come up with like presents and like I have like a huge sweet tooth, like pretty well known that I love desserts, and like people will just come up with like cases of brownies and cookies, and like it's just so wonderful to like I love doing meet and greets. Like I told you this before we got on, that I get like social anxiety, so like talking to people gets me so nervous, but like once we
Yeah.
get going, it's like it's just amazing. So
Yeah, I would have done the total opposite. Like, so if I would have slapped you, I'd be like, "You're awesome," and I would have just walked on. Like, I'm not even gonna get this signed. Like, I wouldn't expect you to sign this. Like, I can't believe this just happened. Like, it would happen to me, kind of. Yeah, I would have been just so embarrassed. Yeah,
oh my gosh, because I'm sure we've all been there, like meeting somebody who we're like a fan of, and just like completely embarrass ourselves. Like it's
yeah.
just, oh my gosh, it's like I don't think I should tell. Well, it's fine. I'm gonna tell you this story. Like, okay, so one of the time, I'm a huge fan of Cole Cabana, like
Mhm.
huge fan. And he came to our training the one time, and this was like years ago. And by years ago, I mean literally 2 years ago. So it wasn't even that long ago. And it was my turn to go lock up with him. So like as we're about to go, and like everyone knows how big of a fan I am of his. And as
Yeah.
soon as I go to lock up with him, I accidentally slapped him in the face. So like I don't know, I think maybe that was the universe working.
Yeah.
That's why I got slapped in the face, because I was like, and it was like loud. And I was like, I'm the worst. I need to go home. Oh my gosh. I was like, I'll let myself out. Yeah, it was just so embarrassing.
So the
And just
fan Kylie Rae. That's what happened. Yeah.
it was meant to be, man. I don't know.
So
But
good.
yeah, I'll try to think of another funny story. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
a bunch. I
Well, so for weird and awkwardness, I just wanted to show you something that I'm not the best at this by any means. I just started, but I've pretty much just been like repainting and like sculpting, I guess, like some previous action figures. And I made this little number. I don't know if you can see it.
You made that? Holy
I
crap.
I did. So like got
That's
the
amazing.
the bow and everything. So later on in life, if you want one, I'll just send it to you.
Oh my gosh, no, I would love that. Oh,
Yeah, it's great.
wait,
It's
do a
great.
round
Thank
of
you. I'm glad you
applause.
like it.
I
Awesome.
love that. Oh, please,
Like I said, yeah, and I'll show you the picture. I mean, I'll send you the picture as well. Like I said,
please,
if you
please.
want it, yeah, you can have
Oh,
it. I'll send it to you.
that's so, oh, it literally does warm my heart. Like when people take the time to like do that, and that's just, oh, my
Yeah,
heart.
this was before I even thought to like reach out and have you on. So we'll get into it later why I'm so excited to have you on. But I've wanted to have you on for a while. And actually, I was supposed to say this at the beginning. I have little cliff notes, side notes. I know I told you I have like I'm old school. I got the index cards in. So I was supposed to mention that you were actually the first woman on by my show. So that was another reason why I was loving having you on. You're the first one on. First
I'm
woman
reading
on,
the roof. I don't know why.
right? Okay. So yeah,
Oh, thank you. Double thank
that's
you. Oh,
that's what I'm
good.
doing with that weird fan encounter right now. So I'm elaborating on it. All right.
I love it. Oh, hey, we can all be weird here. It's a safe
Right.
zone.
This is the place to do it, right?
Oh,
So funniest or weirdest road story that you've had?
oh gosh. Okay, funniest or weirdest? Wait, I feel like I had one. Let me think. Funniest or weirdest road story? See, like that's what happens when time passes by. We forget about like stories and
Yeah.
stuff. But let me try. Well, can I don't know why this comes to mind, but it's probably because it was very random and like didn't even get scheduled until the day before. But have you ever heard of like the gathering of the Juggalos?
I have actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like, I have no idea where this is going. Okay.
Well, okay, so the other admin on this page, and some of them have done interviews with me, huge juggalos, and talk about this all the time. I'm the normie to them. So that's why when you say it, I'm pretty sure they're like, oh, I missed this part of like the one person that brings it up, and they're not here to do the interview. So I'm excited about this. So continue.
Um, so this, and there's probably other stories, but this is just something that comes to mind. But they had a wrestling show at the gathering of the Juggalos, but they wanted to do like an all women show there. So I drove from Chicago, like, and I think I had class and like work and whatnot, and I drove from Chicago and met somebody in Kansas City. I don't know, Lainey Luck, I'm not sure if you're aware of her, but I met Lainey in Kansas City, and then we drove straight to Oklahoma because that's where the gathering was. And we met like a bunch of other women there, and it was just like it looked like we didn't belong. So and if we look like we don't belong, like we probably feel like we don't.
Yeah.
Like we very much stuck out, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So there was a group of like essentially like 10 of us women just like walking up, and like I'm very naive and like very trusting. So like where we parked was really far because they had like campgrounds and stuff, right? So you're only allowed to park like at the event if you're like staying on the campground. And somebody just pulled up like in a truck, and they're like, "Oh, do you need a ride?" Because we're all walking with our suitcase. And I'm like, "Yeah, hop in." So we like hop in the back, and it's just me. Like I realized like I'm the only one that hopped in like the back of the pickup truck. And then all of a sudden all the other girls are like, "Okay, well now we have to hop in the back of this pickup truck because she's probably going to get kidnapped." So like, and I have to say, I just don't hop in random people's trucks. Like that's just,
Yeah.
I think that's a good rule of thumb. Like in 2000, it was probably 2019 at this point. Don't hop in random people's trucks. So like, anyway, but it was all good. Like they were very nice, and like I'm very trusting as it is. But we happened. They took us to like the actual like grounds area. But like when we walk in, it's just like the clouds of smoke. Like you can't even see the other side. Like I thought it was fog. Like I couldn't even like stick my hand out in front of us. It was just like I don't even know how to explain it, but it was one of the best experiences I've ever had because like we should not have been there. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like in no other way, shape, or form would we have been at that like at the gathering. But like I'm very happy to have had that experience because it turned out to be like one of the best best nights and experiences ever. And like people there were awesome. Like have you ever been or no?
I have not, no.
You haven't? Okay, I would honestly recommend if you ever have the opportunity to go, you should go because at least once, because it was just fun, like being in that atmosphere. Because to me, like it feels like, because you obviously know like wrestling is like just a different atmosphere. Like I feel like that's like their world of wrestling, but for like the gathering, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's just their place to like be themselves. And like, I don't know, it was really fun. So random, but yeah, so we just like hopped in the back of a pickup truck. And I feel now that I'm telling you, it doesn't sound like a fun story, but maybe if you were there.
Yeah. I mean, I just pulling up to a bunch of different wrestling venues, like there's a lot of sketchiness going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we don't even
exactly.
question it. Like it's just normal. Like we're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, this is in the middle of a swap mart. Okay,
Yeah.
this sounds this sounds trustworthy.
And that's why there's like the joke.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's why there's like the joke and the insult of like being carnies, you know what I mean? It's just like nothing really surprises us anymore. It's
Right,
great.
right. And I love it. I love it so much. Like when I tell people, and I'm sure you get this, like non-wrestling people, they're
Yeah.
probably like, "What are you doing, like in life?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "But I love this." Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, what's wrong with this?
Like I'm trying to have him on, but of course he's definitely busy. Like but Rob Risen, um so him and I, we had this match in Amarillo, Texas. And the thing is, like, we hit, well, myself and my, the guys that I was on the road with, we hit some really bad traffic. There was an accident that happened. I think he was coming in from the Colorado side, so he was, at the arena fairly early. I knew I was working him, but I got there just in time to change into my gear, right? Because I walked in, I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, you're like next. Like, fuck. So like, I put my gear on, and Rob's there. He's like, yeah, we'll just, we'll call it out there. It's like, all right, great guy. So in the middle of this match, I'm like, damn, I gotta pee really bad. And luckily it was like think like a fatal 4-way or something. And he's just
Yeah.
like, what? I was like, dude, I gotta pee so bad. And the thing is, like, they had like maybe 2 or 3 women on the roster. So like throughout the show, they would come out to use the restroom. Us guys, we would just go off of like the back little,
Right.
dock area because
Water
it was in a
bottle or whatever
warehouse.
you gotta do in
Yeah.
the bucket.
And so because I couldn't go, we were out there, like the restrooms were located, like I said, where the fans are and stuff. I was like, hey, would you mind like throwing me in the restroom? He's like, yeah, let's do
That's
it.
amazing.
So he threw me in the restroom. He's like, are you really peeing? I was like, yeah, I really gotta pee. So I'm standing there just like, he's like, we got to make this make sense. Yeah, in the middle of the match. And he starts banging on the walls and he's like, and stuff. And so, like, I'm flushing the toilet and he goes, hey, man, after you wash your hands, I got to go now, too. He's like, I can't hear you and not have to go. So, like, Rob goes and after he goes, he's like, so what do we do? I was like, all right, so check this out. So I just grab a bunch of toilet paper and I just stuff it in the back of like my gear. And I was like, just throw me out. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So he opens the door, just throws me out. I get up and I'm like wobbling. And everyone's laughing, like, yeah, not knowing that we were in there taking a piss. It was so great.
Oh,
He's
that's
a
so
great guy.
amazing. That
Rob
story
Rise.
definitely is mine. That's
Yeah.
that's a great
That's what I'm saying. Like, nothing surprises us. We just do things.
story.
And so, like, the next question, speaking of like weirdness, like, what is the strangest way that you've gotten paid?
Well, okay. Let's see. Okay, so I think for the most part, like genuinely, it's been okay, right? So
Okay.
I remember when I was first starting out, like I'm a big foodie, right? And I know I think you had mentioned like you like your story, but I'll let you tell that.
You're good.
But like for me, I remember somebody was trying to book me like when I was first starting out down in Texas, and I was like, I don't know if they brought it up or if I brought it up. I think I had like made a joke and I was like, yeah, like I don't care. You could just pay me in tacos. And they were like, I think they just like took it to heart. And they're like, okay, like we can just pay Kylie like in tacos. And I was like, okay. But like, I mean, we get like our free food, but like it was starting to be like people had to pull me aside and be like, hey, maybe you should stop telling people that you can get free tacos because promoters are going to start taking you seriously and legitimately try to book you as like just paying you in food. And I was like,
Yeah.
obviously, like we're first starting out, we don't care because we're like just happy to be doing this, and we're just like,
Yeah.
like just food is great. I'll work. Let me pay you to wrestle. Like,
Yeah.
we're just excited. And then over time, it's like, wait, okay, let's
Yeah.
like be realistic here, right? So let's just try to think about all aspects. But yeah, no, when I was first starting out, I did not care. So that was definitely something people had to talk to me about and be like, hey, like start treating this as a business. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. What
Like
do
I
you
said, because I started at 15, so here I am. Like, you got me on a flyer. I'm good. Like however you want to pay me. It's fine, right? But yeah, like I was telling you, I got in trouble because the promoter was like, have at them hot dogs, and I was like, all right. So I go out, have at these hot dogs, and then I think it was like his daughter or somebody like running the concessions was like, yeah, give me some nachos. She's like, okay. So she's like, just more cheese. Like, yeah, more cheese. So she's like, pour the cheese. Like, yeah. So I come in the back with like 2 hot dogs. I already ate 2 standing there. It's like, come in the back with 2 more. And the guy's like, I didn't say nachos. It's like, what? I said hot dogs. It's like, oh God, my bad. Jesus.
Oh, that's amazing. That's for like the main event. The main event gets the nachos,
Yeah,
right?
I'm sorry. Like you
Oh my
curtain jerk,
God.
like get out of here. Like, give me these nachos. Here you go, Kylie Rae. There you
Wiping
go.
up and there's like cheese just dripping down.
I know you're coming out. It matches your gear though, It's like, Kylie, is that nacho cheese on you? What are you
That was
doing
like my
over there?
ongoing joke. I was like recently I started using a backpack and I was like, I'll just keep snacks like in my backpack just in case. And literally you can ask anybody that I worked like recently. I would come with like snacks and like pies, cake and all this to like every show that I was on.
Yeah.
And somehow, in one way or another, I would always try to work food into the match. And I was like, literally, like nobody would go for it, nobody. And then I just had an excuse to eat the food after the match. But I would like every single opponent I had. I would be like, hey, I have this idea. Like in the middle of the heat, you should like throw me outside and then like hit me with this pie. And they're like, dude, no, like it doesn't our match. I'm like, no, it'll be really good, but like, let me eat some of it first, and
Yeah.
like, then hit me with it. And they're like, dude, if you want to eat the pie, just eat the pie. We're not working into our match. Like, it does not make sense. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, just because you offered that, I guess.
Right.
You know.
I was like, okay, I'll eat the pie. Like literally a year straight, I would be like, I have this idea. And they're like, you want the food again? Like, seriously?
Yeah, but this time with the Snickers, like you don't understand. It's so much more convenient. You can just grab it from anybody's hand. It just makes sense. Like,
I was
why
like,
aren't
we'll
you
get
on
a
the same
plant.
page?
We'll get a plant out in the crowd and just give them the pie beforehand. And they're
Yeah.
like, stop going through all these great lengths to just eat dessert. Like, just eat the dessert.
Yeah. I feel at least one time before you hang it up, this needs to happen, right?
I
And
know.
and during this spot, you get hit with the pie and you just get taken off by it. Like, this is really good. Like, try this, and whoever gives you the pie is like, oh, this is really good. And then you continue working the match. Like, it's gotta happen.
I know, and I think like one of the matches was with Frank the Clown too. Like he was either he was in the match or he was like managing Robert, and I was like, oh, this is finally gonna be the one. And they're like, dude,
Yeah.
we're not doing it. Drop the
I know, like if it's not gonna happen with Frank the Clown, like who knows?
clown out of all.
Well, actually, so this could lead into the next question. So,
Yeah.
what is your take on today's intergender wrestling matches?
I know there's mixed opinions, but I'm all for it. I
Hmm.
think that everyone, especially like when done well, it could be some of the best matches on
Hmm.
earth. And not to say like I know wrestling or anything like this, but like when like you can get people invested in like what you're doing and like
Yeah,
what the whole match is like putting out, like I firmly believe like there's a way to do it. And it starts to seem like it's starting to happen more and more. And to me, like somebody who grew up watching like um women kind of, I feel bad saying like getting the short end of the stick for most of wrestling, but when I was growing up, like it
yeah,
kind of was like, and it was heartbreaking to see as a female watching, because then these other females grow up. I don't like to speak on every other female's behalf, but as
yeah,
far as me, like I was growing up thinking like, well, this is all that it's ever going to be for me.
yeah,
And like, I'm never going to get that opportunity solely because of the way I was born. And like, that's the heartbreaking part, because it was like, what can I do to improve? Because like, I can't change the fact that I'm a woman. So how do I get better? And to me, like, if it's something that it's just like, oh, it's just how it is, like, why? If that
yeah,
makes sense. Like, so no matter, you're telling me like, no matter how much work I put in, nothing's going to change just because I'm a female. Like, it's one thing if I'm not strong enough, I'm not big enough, I'm not whatever enough. But like, if it's just because of something I can't change, that was the part that where there was like the disconnect. Because I'm like, I don't comprehend that. And I'm
yeah,
guessing that I wasn't the only person that felt that way. And I'm guessing there's a lot. I hear that from like a lot of guys too, who are like smaller than the average, like whatever they were looking for. Like they went through stuff like that as well, and that was heartbreaking to hear too. So it's like, I love a good underdog story. Like I love
hmm,
underdogs. I relate to that. I get emotionally invested in that. I always want the underdog to win. Most cases, right? Generally
yeah,
speaking. So I like that. So when it's done well, and like there's been times I literally like cry over matches. And again, probably because I'm also female too, so I relate more to that. But I like seeing it done well. I like having somebody who nobody believes in being able to
mhm,
come out on top and fight through those battles and the struggles and all the obstacles, and seeing them overcome all of that hard work. And like that's the stuff that I could relate to. So
mhm,
having that story told in a match, like I get invested in that kind of stuff.
yeah,
And I truly believe that it just makes everyone all around better. But again, that's just my own opinion.
yeah.
I've seen it, like everyone has their own opinion. Um, I don't think it has to happen all the time. But I do love when it does happen because I just believe that it shows that, like, hey, to whoever that little kid is in the crowd, that could be them one day, and they can believe in their selves, and they could believe in their dreams just because they're watching somebody else achieve their dreams. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And so I'm on the same spectrum kind of thing, and might get a lot of heat from it. And I'm gonna definitely show my age. Like, I knew what you were implying because, like, there was a time, like I said, I'm gonna say like a Marlena with Goldust. She gets knocked off the apron and she's down for forever. And then all of a sudden, like, you get a China come in and it's like, oh, she's dominant. She can hang with the guys. It's like, why couldn't any of the other girls hang with the guys? You know, why does it have to be like a jacked up, muscled up female? You know what I mean? And so, like I said, that to my later years to becoming a wrestler and having to do intergender wrestling. Like I said, I'm 5'5". So these women that I was in the ring with were definitely bigger than myself. So I went into it thinking like I'm not gonna think of this wrestler as a female. I'm thinking of him as a worker, you know. So like you're bigger than me, you forearm me, I'm gonna sell this forearm. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna like, show and be like, I'm not gonna sell for this woman. So I really wasn't a fan leading into it until like I had to like I guess come to that realization like this is something bigger than me right now. Like because
Right.
this is the only intergender match on the show and I'm a part of it, you know what I mean? And like and it has to make sense. I'm
Love
all
that you
about
said
having
that.
something, make sense. And so like I said, I did that match and I fell in love, like not just like just because like I said it was bigger than me. So like
Yeah,
she,
that alone like shows. Sorry, like it does, like it's for everyone. It really is.
yeah,
Like you don't know who is in that crowd that night watching that, and like because of that match, like now they're going to go out and try to do that. And it's
yeah.
like,
And
and
beat up
also
these little
like
5'5" guys.
like the women train with the guys too. So
Yeah,
like why can't, what's the difference of between um somebody who's 5'2", let's say a guy who's 5'2", 130 pounds against a guy who is, 6'2", 210, or, even 240. Like, why
yeah,
is that more believable than a woman who is, 5'5" and 145 pounds or 150 pounds against a
yeah,
guy who, let's say he's, 5'6", 5'7", and maybe has 5 pounds on the girl,
yeah.
So
And
like,
I was gonna say that's exactly right because like so you don't have to go out and do a clinic. You just gotta make it make sense,
right.
And
Stuff, like evading stuff, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Just work a match, And so I was a fan of it. Like I said, then I kind of hung it up and I came back to one of the places I frequented in Texas called ACW. And when I came back, there was a intergender match with Athena, who became Ember Moon. So I saw that match and I was like, God damn, this girl could go. Like, man, like this is
She's
I was
one
like,
of
this is nuts, right?
my,
And
yeah.
so I love seeing that match because, like I said, it just told a story. It wasn't like, a man just demolishing a woman, and giving her some hope spots. So another thing I was going to bring up, another reason I'm excited to have you on, your match with Orange Cassidy, the selling back and forth and the y'all making each other look good. That is such a good match. Like I said, you don't have to, like I said, put on like uh just a clinic of like back and forth and stuff. It's just entertaining. It was like I said, a mutual respect of people.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a great match to watch. Like I said, I definitely love watching you and Orange Cassidy. It's
um,
amazing.
that's seriously like one of my favorite matches just for the emotional aspect of it. And I can't thank Drew enough at Beyond for, because like he had asked like who would you want to watch or who would you want to wrestle, and I'm like, Orange Cassidy, please, because like at that time like he was seriously like one of my favorite wrestlers, if not my favorite wrestler at that time. And like, and I'm not talking like the Shawn Michaels, the Macho Man, like I'm talking like present current wrestlers. Like he was
Yeah,
like at the top of the list. And like I was like, is that okay? And he's like, yeah. He's like, we're gonna book that. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like I fangirled like so hard when I got there. Like I was just so like just and like the stuff he was giving, like I truly believe like he was so giving in that match, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Like he just so sweet, like talked to me the whole time. Like he very much like he helped me. Like that was like the way he pushed me in that match was harder than I've been pushed any other. Like he believed in me more than I believed in myself, and like it was just, it was awesome. Like it was like I go back now and I'm like, oh, obviously we're our own worst critics, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I wish I could have done this better for him and this better and blah blah blah. But like just having that support system, and I don't know, I can't speak on his behalf, but that match meant so much to me, and still to this day it does. And yeah, it was just, it felt fun.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like, obviously I get very nervous, especially like right before matches, but like when we were like in there, it just felt good. And like it just felt organic, and like some of the stuff, and like that crowd at Beyond is like on another level. Like they're so in tune with the wrestlers. They care so much. They get so invested. They love their people, and it's just, yeah, it felt like another one of those moments where the stars aligned on that night, and it was wonderful. It was
just your interaction with the fans that night was funny too. I think it was that match or another match I was watching of yours. And you're like, who just cheered when I took my shirt off? You know, like who was that? You know, it's like what?
There's
Like, what
always
is
one,
going
right?
on?
At least that's one.
It's so good. So like I might be breaking, kayfabe or something here, but in the event, one day, boots come back on for me and we have a match, I promise you, we will do the pie spot. All right. The pie spot will happen. Kylie Rae.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna sell my butt off for you. Just no, but for real. Oh, that means so much to me. I'm excited. And who knows, maybe we'll even upgrade it to a cake instead of a pie. Maybe we'll do both.
So we'll have to talk after this, be like about flavors, okay? All right, because I know you're a dessert person, so we gotta make the stars align with this one. All right, it's gotta be perfect, dude. I feel a Mrs. Doubtfire spot. Hello, that'd be great. Love it.
I told you we just did a signing, right? So over the weekend, so like Mike McGurk was there, Chris Hero, and then Rachel Ellering. And like me and Rachel Ellering, like she's so sweet, like just one of the sweetest people I've ever met. And like every time like somebody would come up, we would both like almost on cue, we'd be like, hello. Trying to, but then afterward we're like, hey, this is Doubtfire, right? It became like a little ongoing joke, and it was amazing. So I'm happy that you brought that up.
Yeah, just makes sense. Hello. So good. So I got to start speeding through so I can get you off here in time. No, so we got a few more things to do before, like I said, one of our main events that I so excited to do with you here. So we're gonna go with dream matches right now. So what is your dream women's match, one for the past and present?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, present is obviously Bailey. I say this like all the time. She's like one of my dream opponents forever and ever.
So like hug Bailey or like heel Bailey right now?
Honestly, either. I would take. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever is meant to be, right? That's what
I gotcha. Yeah.
I think just like the aura of it, like I don't know. But again, that's fangirling me. So
no, we got to see y'all hug.
I know. No, let's see. And then past. Oh, that's a good one. Oh wait. Can I say, is Beth Phoenix technically retired now? Can I say Beth Phoenix? Or
I'm gonna say yeah. Okay. So do your aura as well, I guess.
Yes. Can I say Beth Phoenix then?
Okay.
If not, then I would like to say Molly Holly. I would like to add Molly Holly.
Perfect.
Jazz just retired. See, now I'm like, I can't think of one person out, because like once I start going, then my list starts getting longer, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like I said earlier, Athena's on my list too, and I know she's current, obviously, but like my list just and I've already had the opportunity and privilege of being in the ring with like so many dream matches that I already had. So like it's just it just feels like so much has happened in such a short period of time that I like sometimes I even like I just have to take a second and be like, holy crap, like this is like it's amazing to be because it took me 2.5 years to have just one match. So
Yeah.
like it was like a very long road as far as getting to one match. Like there was times where I never thought I was going to even have one match. So like looking to that and like seeing how far like everything has come and like happened, it's sometimes I have to like remind myself like, hey, appreciate like what's the saying? Like on the way to where you're going, appreciate how far you've come, right? Or like appreciate how far you've
I'm
come
gonna
on the way
believe
to
you.
where yeah, something like that. I don't know, sounds
Yeah.
very cool. But no,
Yeah.
it's really it's like it's good to like be in the present, but also like remember how far you've come and then just that will I don't know, keep you like happy when you're on the way
Yeah.
to where you're going.
And
So
and like you said, it's crazy, like the great matches that you've had, because all you have to do is go on YouTube, click Kylie Rae, and then all these amazing matches come up. You're like, what? She worked who? Like she worked her? Like what? Like this is nuts. Like so someone who hasn't like seen you like in like Impact or AEW and stuff, like hasn't seen any of your indie stuff. That stuff that gets uploaded, you can like just go look. Like man, like this is some gems that I haven't got to watch yet. Like it's great.
and of
So
course, if I go back and watch that, I'm gonna hate every single thing that I do. And I'm gonna be like, I start like apologizing to the people I'm in the ring with, like, I'm sorry, I should have done better.
no,
Apologizing to fans and stuff.
I think that's more guilt on their part because they didn't do the pie spot. That's what it is. All right. don't you worry. Yeah, should have listened to you. Like you're considered. I feel like a knowledgeable veteran at this point. Like I think you would know that a pie makes sense in a match. Right?
That's the only reason why.
Just follow. Yeah, like you should just like someone coming up with less experience. You should be like, just follow me, kid.
I'll take
I,
you
I
away.
got you. And then randomly you have a pie. Like, wait, what? Just sit there.
I literally nowadays I tell everyone, okay, just don't follow my lead. Don't do anything I would do, and then you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. No, that's what you got to do. You got to take charge. Follow me, kid. And then you have the pie planted. Boom. Yeah. It'll be okay. So, dream intergender match, past and present.
Oh my gosh. Okay, past 100% Shawn Michaels because he's my
Okay.
all-time favorite. Um, present. Wait, you mean past like retired, right? Not like past.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
retired or like golden era.
Yeah, I don't want this to get
Luthez.
morbid. Okay, and present. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. Oh crap. There's two. Either Kevin Owens or AJ Styles. Can I say?
Okay.
Because yeah, they're very much. Sorry, I'm on like a huge WWE because
Yeah.
baby passed, of course. So I've been like watching all of that. I'm like from then I'll try to think moving forward. I'll try to think of like indies and like Impact and AEW. Like I'll try to add that
No,
into.
that's
It's
completely
only because when
fine.
it's fresh in my head, I start
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Well, it's because whenever you say AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, my mind automatically goes to like a, TNA AJ Styles, ROH AJ, ROH, Steen, like their stuff that they can do like in the indies, not like a WWE style match, like a package pile driver, and just all this stuff. Like
Watching like an AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander when they were both like on the Indies match, and I was like, this is insane that this match happened like
yeah,
first off years ago, and then second on the Indies. And I'm just like, this is. But again, wrestling. I love wrestling. I love all wrestling. I feel like when I was
yeah,
growing up, I was such like a product of the system because like I only knew WWE, and then like
yeah,
once like I got like to independent wrestling, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much out here.
yeah.
But yeah, so now I'm like a fan of wrestling as a whole, and it's like amazing to see like, and it's evolving in every way, shape, and form, and it's so cool.
Yeah, and that's actually what happened with me. I didn't know about ROH or anything until I started working, and they were like, "Hey, watch this or watch this Japanese DVD. Like, we're gonna practice these moves and something." Like, what? Like, and I'm just like, what is this? Like, do you have more of this stuff? And then this, thank God, like I'm gonna just give him a shout out right now. But Darren Childs, he runs Anarchy Championship Wrestling. They're based out of Austin, but when I was there, it was mainly out of San Antonio, and he was bringing in guys like Claudio and Chris Hero and stuff. And like I said, I just freshly watched these DVDs, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like I was starstruck, but like the one time I definitely marked out, like we both dropped our luggage and it was so weird because we almost like butt heads, but it was Jerry Lynn. It was my first show in ACW. We're in San Antonio, and he just walking through the, because like I said, this is the time where with the rope burn and stuff, and I think people were like wanted to take like promo pics or something. So one of the wrestlers, Rex Reed, he's like, "Yo, I got a camera in my bag. Go to the back, grab it, and come back out," because we're all like in the ringside area. It's like, all right. So I ran in the back, and as I'm coming, back outside the curtain, that's when Jerry walks in with this luggage, and I'm like, oh shit! Like I didn't know what to do. I was just like, and I had like said Rex Reed's bag, and I don't know how, but like it slipped off my shoulder. It fell. He dropped his bag, and we're like, oh my god, sorry. He's like, hey, good to meet you. And I'm like, hey, yeah, how's it going, man? And I was just like, why? It's like I said, I'm like I said, 15, 16 at the time, whatever. Random fun fact, I lied to them about my age. I told them I was 18 to work. Okay. Yeah, so I was like 15, 16. So I go on the outside, and I'm just like, Jerry Lynn just shook my hand, whatever. They're like, yeah, he shook all of our hands. Like, that's what you do. You make your rounds. And I'm just like, yeah, but like he dropped his luggage. He said sorry. And he was like, yo, what's up, man? And they're like, shut up.
Nice. Hey, man, if I was there, I would have been right along with you. So don't you?
Yeah, thank you. And like, oh my God. I marked out so much with Jerry. I'm just there like, seeing him put a match together, like I just want to pick, and he was like one of the coolest guys ever, because it wasn't that night, it was the next show that we did. He came back, and I was like, hey Jerry, I don't want to overstep anything, but I was wondering if you can watch my match, whatever, and tell me what you think. And he was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. And like he was going over his stuff, and I was like, okay, yes sir. And then like I walk off, and I go do my match. Like I said, I think I was like second or third, and I come back and he's sitting in the same spot, and I was like, fuck, he didn't watch it. So I go up and I was like, hey sir, did you happen to watch it? He was like, yeah. So he stopped what he was doing. He's like, yeah. So I watched, and he was talking about the chaining, and he's just like, you're going way too fast. You're 2 moves ahead before the people can appreciate what's going on. He goes, what looks better? He's like, this or this. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just slow down a little bit. He goes, yeah, you got it. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Like he legit like went and watched and went back to what he was doing. Like he did what he said he was going to do. And I didn't expect it. Like I said, I thought he was just like, whatever. But he saw when I was going out, went and watched, and gave me some feedback afterwards. And I'll forever be a mark of Jerry Lynn. He's a great guy.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that. I love hearing stories like that, because like I feel like that's the stuff that, that means a lot to me. Like I like hearing, obviously he's like well known as one of the nicest guys, if not the nicest guy in professional wrestling, but seriously, hearing stuff like that, it just restoring faith in humanity.
Yeah, just what we strive to hope to be like, right?
Yes.
So, and next thing, it's another dream. What is your dream tag matches, past and present?
Dream tag matches. Oh my gosh. Okay, we just recently had a dream tag match, which was against the besties in the world. I don't know if you know Matt Fidget and Davey Vega, but so we had my fiance and we got to tag like a little run last year, but so we got to wrestle them, and that was literally like at the top of my list. But let me try to think. The Iconics, even though they're like not together anymore, but still like, a huge tag match of mine. Also, like I've always been a big fan of the New Day, so I hope that's okay to say too.
Okay.
But, yeah. So like again, once I get going, I'm just gonna keep adding to the list. So we'll stop right there.
Yeah. And who's your partner?
Oh my gosh, for which? Well, I'm sorry, I'm biased, but as of right now, Isaiah is my partner. But I don't know, maybe we could get Susie as a partner again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was gonna say it because intergender with the Iconics. Hey, right. That's your dream,
Hey, well, I guess we'll see. Whatever's meant to be will happen, right?
Right. So, next thing, let me get my time around here. So This is what I've been wanting.
No pressure.
Since having you on. So I'm going to lead into this. So like I said, I mentioned you and Orange Cassidy earlier. There was a point in time during that match where you were serious Kylie, when Smiley Kylie. So that was so, like I said, cool to see. It was fun, like seeing the intensity and everything. I mean, most matches, I'm just saying, like, that's the one that sticks out, like, just like, I'm going to get this, kind of thing. It's great. So I want to have a staring, no smiling contest with you. So I'm going to have no smiling. All right. Just tell me when you're ready, and I'm going to start this clock, and then we're going to do this stare down. So no blinking, no smiling. First one down loses.
Okay. Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay. Wait. I'm not ready yet. Okay. Do I make an angry face or just a straight?
Yeah. Just no smiling. Yeah. So you do that angriness. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready.
It's my mark out of it.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Ready? And we're going.
Damn it!
Yes! I win. 3.97 seconds in.
I swear it's like 3.9. Can we try one more time?
Okay, yeah. So let me
reset.
Hit it. Yeah,
okay,
most definitely. Tell me when.
Get the first one out. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Ready.
The practice run. Go.
Damn it!
Yeah. 5.12. Yeah, almost 2 seconds.
Strive for progress, not perfection.
Yeah, exactly.
High five.
Yeah. Done. So that's one of my accolades that I want to put on my thing, that I beat Kylie. So right now I'm 2-0.
Yes, you are.
In the staring, no smiling contest.
Oh, that was amazing.
Your record is 5.12 seconds. Congratulations.
I'm going to be practicing that later.
Yeah.
I'm going to re-challenge you.
Yeah, we'll do it. So the last portion of this interview is, whenever I was a fan, we had Pro Wrestling Illustrated, all these magazines that did interviews, and they had random fun facts about, different wrestlers. And I don't feel like we have that much anymore. So we're going to go through these random fun facts. This is actually a MySpace survey. I went old school, did a MySpace survey. So we'll do these rapid question fun facts for Kylie Rae. Are you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Here we go. What was the last beverage you drank?
Water. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Good. The last song you listened to?
I was on the radio. What's that new Machine Gun Kelly song that's on the radio? It's like the favorite exes or something. I think but it's just because it was on the radio on the way home. I'm sorry. For my next question.
So hold on, I'm gonna put a pause to this. You listen to the radio on the way home?
Sometimes I need to switch it up because my Spotify is it's the same songs over and over again. So it's a nice change of pace. It keeps me grounded.
No, that's awesome, because I was talking about CDs and MySpace, and here you go listening to the radio on the way home. This is great. All right. Okay, so back to it. Yeah, we're going old school. Yeah. All right, what are your top 3 favorite colors?
Blue, red, then green.
Okay. What did you do for your last birthday?
Oh my gosh. Last birthday went to Starved Rock because it was in the middle of COVID. It's a hiking trail around here that's it's 2.5 hours south, but went to Starved Rock and then ate a lot of sweets.
Okay. Sounds also, like you.
The wrestling show too. That was all in one. So it was,
a
good.
That's a good birthday, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So most visited webpage.
Not including while I'm at work, right? Because at work we have to go on the dashboard. So we're gonna
Okay.
Question. Most visited web probably Google or YouTube.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Any nicknames that you go by?
It used to be legit, growing up, people would call me Smiley. Smiley or Shorty, yeah, but my little sister, I don't know if this is getting too in-depth, but my real name is Brianna, so my little sister would call me Banna. I don't know why.
Okay.
But okay, sorry.
Sweet.
Everybody.
Sweet. Yeah. So Smiley and Banna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Xanadu.
What is the first sport that you joined?
The first sport that I joined, I believe, was soccer or gymnastics.
Okay. Have you ever gotten a speeding ticket?
Yes, many.
Have you ever been
Sorry.
arrested?
No. I don't think
Okay. Twirl or cut your spaghetti?
twirl.
Okay. Right. I think that's no. I don't know why this is asked in a MySpace survey. Um, if you could go back in time, would you go back in time if you were given the chance? If so, when?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I would say yes to relive good memories, but I wouldn't change anything. If
Okay,
that,
makes
so
sense.
like there would
Yeah.
I would like to relive a lot of good memories. So I don't have just one, but a lot I feel like a lot of wrestling memories that are good memories I'd want to bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just that you wouldn't be able to do the pie. Right.
Right. That would be
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
thing I would change is the pie. And then have a
Yeah.
butterfly effect and like the whole world would come crashing down.
Yeah. Right? Oh, I feel like I missed something somewhere. I'm gonna keep going. Sorry. I just lost my place. Do you type fast?
I would say average, right?
Okay. I don't
I
know.
don't know what the definition of fast is, but yeah, I would say
Oh,
average.
okay.
Like
Okay.
without spelling errors, we'll say.
Okay. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Great. Have you
Perfect.
ever been on a horse?
Yes, yeah, growing up a lot.
Oh, nice. What is your favorite weather?
Spring. Does
Okay.
that count as weather? That's a season. My gosh, I'm sorry.
I
Weather,
mean,
like
I kind of knew what you were saying, like that spring weather, I guess.
yeah, spring weather. Like
Right?
75, a little windy, but mostly like sunny, cool. Is that
Yeah, I gotcha. Have you ever slipped on ice?
oh, many times. That's how I got my first concussion was slipping on ice.
I got a concussion slipping on ice.
Yes. I don't know if that's something that we should be proud of, but yes. And then wrestling happened, and then many, many concussions later happened, but it's fine.
Oh
We're
no,
good.
no. I think I got my wrestling concussions then the ice slip.
That's
Yeah. I
nice.
think that's
Okay.
why it was as bad as it was
All
because of all the
right.
previous ones. So
Amazing.
yeah, we'll get to that later on in life. So have you
Fine.
ever stayed up for 24 hours or more? If so, what is your record?
Yes, I have. I'm pretty sure many, many wrestling trips. I don't know what my actual record is. Can we just guess and say like 30 hours?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's just-
Yeah, right on. You write a book, just put that in there, right? Yeah, I think it was 30.
I think so.
Yeah. So have you ever been to a concert? If so, what was your favorite one? And which one surprised you and how good it was?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so yes, because we had a concert venue by our house growing up. So like a lot of country concerts I've been to, but also Fall Out Boy and Paramore was like surprise.
Okay.
Well, no, that was probably one of my favorites, but the most surprising one that was amazing was a Backstreet Boys cover band.
Okay.
It was like it sounds goofy, but it was so much fun because like the people singing like got so into it, like they believed they were Backstreet Boys, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. Yeah. So
I've
anyway,
no, that's no, I can relate because I've gone to well, I'm gonna say three concerts, but there were only two bands. So I went to Journey tribute band twice
heck yeah,
and Fleetwood Mac tribute band. And
nice.
they were amazing. So I was just like, this is actually kind of cool.
Live performances are amazing.
Right? Especially because the Fleetwood Mac one was at the House of Blues. So I was like, this is legit. Like, it's an actual venue. Like, people there were just all into it. And I was like, man, this is, yeah, kind of cool.
Yes.
So I can relate. I don't know about Backstreet Boys, though. Like,
Can
yeah,
help
I don't
it.
want to say, I don't want to try to act cool because I'm going to be real. If someone offered me tickets to a Backstreet Boys concert, I'm going, but I'm
Right.
just saying, like, a cover to Backstreet. I don't know. I have to see. Tell me later on what their names were, and I'm
It
gonna
was
look
worth
them
it.
up.
It was worth it.
Right. Um, let's see. Have you ever caught your stove on fire?
Um, caught it on fire. I mean, like I have a gas stove, so naturally there it's a fire
Okay.
stove, right? But I've never like set the house on fire or anything like
Yeah.
that.
I think it's asking if you can't cook. Have you like
Yeah.
burned something? Maybe, I don't know. Uh, have you ever been on a boat?
Yes, yes. Not my own, but my friends had boats growing up. So
Okay. And then the last one here is, have you ever found something valuable on the ground?
like yeah, I think so. I mean, like I believe in the find a penny for good luck type of thing. If you find the penny, heads up, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that's valuable.
Okay.
What else? I don't know. Probably a lot, right? Like seashells. I don't know. I like little knickknacks. So to me, that's valuable.
Valuable to you. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, because I think the most I've ever found, like, that was worse than was probably like $10 or something.
Right. Like
Yeah.
money. Yeah, I'm like, if it has good memories, I think it's really
That's
awesome.
really awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was saying I love these questions. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, we want to know more about Kylie Rae. Like I said, these Q&As, these random fun facts and stuff. So like I said, we'll wrap it up. We'll take it home. But before we go, I just want to put out there that you guys can check out Kylie Rae's Pro Wrestling Tees shop. And another thing that before I sign you off, Cameo. Kylie Rae's on Cameo. One of the things that I did not too long ago, probably like last week, was go on a cameo spree of looking at Kylie's cameos. And one of the things I love, they're all personalized. They're so amazing. And you always have like a joke or a pun. And it is amazing. So like I said, before I let you off, I think I got one for you. This is really, really corny. All right.
Yes, even better. Lay it on me.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Amish.
Amish who?
Really? You
I'm
don't look like a shoe.
a shoe. I'm a shoe. Oh, I love that. Can I put that in my back pocket for later?
Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely.
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love puns. I love any type of jokes. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
I had to ponder on which one that I could use on you. So I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, that was a great one. I wish you don't look like a shoe.
It's weird. It's weird. You don't look like one. Yeah. But thank you so much, Kylie, for being on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute joy. So thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Bye.